Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CUGC Connect with ControlUp. We are going to be showing a live demo of ControlUp 6.0. I want to go over the format with you just briefly. We have a presentation and a demo for you today, which will be followed by a Q&A session and discussion. We'd like you to use the question area in the GoToWebinar control panel. Type in your questions, and we will get to them after the presentation. Also, I want to let you know that today's presentation is being recorded and will be available on mycugc.org shortly afterward. Our moderator today is Teresa Miller. She is a CUGC member and a CTP. And at this point, I'll let Teresa come on and tell you a little bit about herself and introduce today's presenter.
Hi, welcome everyone. As Stephanie mentioned, my name is Teresa Miller. I am the owner and founder of 24/7 IT Connection. I am also a Citrix CTP and a huge community advocate. So I'm honored today to be part of this webinar and introduce you to our host, Yoni Avital. A little bit about Yoni. He is the co-founder and CTO of ControlUp and has been working with Citrix and VMware and Microsoft products for over 13 years. He's also implemented dozens of large-scale VDI and virtualization projects throughout that time frame. In the past couple of years, though, Yoni has utilized his vast experience in managing complex enterprise environments to spearhead the ControlUp product. Their vision ties into setting up a new standard in VDI and virtualization management. Yoni is also a frequent speaker at conferences and community events such as BRI Forum and E2 EVC. So with that, Yoni, if you could take over, and we're excited to learn more about what you have to share today.
Hey, Teresa, what's up? Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm ready. You guys should, hopefully you're seeing my screen now. I just shared it.
Yes, we do see it.
Okay, great. So thanks again for the intro, Teresa. Great. It's good to hear I'm all over the place. Thanks a lot. And I want to thank CUGC for making this happen. We're quite excited for this. Is actually the first webinar we're joining forces with the CUGC community, and I'm a big fan of community events. So it's great to be here, and I think we're going to have fun. We are planning a lot of live demos and some interesting facts regarding the new release. So I'm excited, guys. And as Teresa said, feel free to ask questions. That's probably the whole purpose of this webinar is for you guys to learn about our new release. We have some pretty neat features coming up, and the more questions, the better. So here is briefly the agenda we planned for this webinar. We'll start with a few updates about ControlUp, the company in general, and what we're up to here back in the offices. I'll then go over the architecture of both ControlUp Real-Time and ControlUp Insights. I honestly believe that technical guys should have a brief understanding about the way the product works before we actually dive into the demo. So we'll cover the architecture in a high level. And then the main dish will be basically a live demo of all kinds of use cases, scenario where ControlUp Real-Time and ControlUp Insights can help with VDI, troubleshooting, management, and reporting. You can see here on the screen some of the new features which are part of the V6 release. So we'll cover them as well, also as part of the live demo. So stay tuned.
Hey, Yoni. Yoni, someone is saying that they need you. They're asking if you can be a little bit closer to the microphone. I think they're having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, I'll try. I actually have a new microphone here. It was given to me by Tron. He's a great guy, also a CDP, and he used to complain about all kinds of audio issues. So the last time I saw him at the E2 EVC at Vegas, he gave me that microphone, and actually since then, audio was great, so hopefully it remains that way today. So I'm trying to be close, and if you still get any complaints, just let me know. So
all right.
Once we finish with the live demo part, we'll try. Hopefully, we'll have some time to show you some interesting facts we have from our collective analytics database. So, as you might know, ControlUp Insights was introduced earlier this year, and it's basically our web-based historical reporting and analytics module. And part of the unique feature set of that platform is our ability to present benchmarks and community, if you will, community analytics to our customers. And we'll share some interesting facts we found about login duration statistics and distribution of Office installations and browsers. So hopefully we'll have some time for that in the end. Okay, so as promised, we'll start with some quick facts and updates regarding ControlUp. So for those of you who do not know us, we've been out there for quite a while now. Actually, ControlUp 1.0 was actually released back in September 2011. So we're out there for a while now. We have great momentum in the market, I have to say. Everywhere we go, we meet happy customers, and it's just growing fast. So it's really appreciated to see, it's great to see the welcome we receive from the entire VDI community. As of today, ControlUp is basically a full-blown VDI management and troubleshooting suite. We have the real-time module, which will be a major part of the demo. And as mentioned before, we have the ControlUp Insights module, which is mainly helpful with historical reporting and analytics. So we'll cover both modules during the live demo. We'll start in a sec. The version I'm about to show you today is ControlUp v6. ControlUp v6 is our latest major release. We actually started the beta a few days ago. So the public beta is available. Anyone who wants to join in, and I'm pretty sure that once you see the live demo, a lot of guys will want to join. So it's a simple process of applying via support@controlup.com. Okay, please simply send an email with your details, and we'll add you guys to the beta. We'll receive access to the beta binaries, and you can test away in your environments. Okay, so before the live demo, let's try to briefly describe the architecture here. So ControlUp is again, it's a unique product from all kinds of aspects, I guess. But one of the things which makes it, I think, really stand out from the crowd is our hybrid SaaS, hybrid cloud architecture. So what you see here on the bottom left side, this is the actual customer environment. Okay, so here you can have your VDI endpoints, your hypervisors, your Zen desktop sites. All of these components obviously are part of your data centers. The components we actually install in the data center, in the customer data center, is the ControlUp monitor itself, which is a .NET Win32 application. This is actually the component you download from our website. And it's connected directly to all of your VDI endpoints, Zen app servers, vSphere clusters, Zen server, Hyper-V, etc. And the second component usually customers are deploying at their environments is the ControlUp monitor service. Okay, the monitor service is actually in charge of 24/7 alerting, reporting, and historical data uploads to our hosted Insights database. Okay, so as you might see here in the drawing, all of the backend components are actually hosted on AWS. We have a high availability GeoCluster hosted in Amazon Web Services, which takes care of all the backend components for you, which means configuration database, license servers, and obviously the historical database. All of them are hosted, which means the only components you guys have to run on your on-premises is, again, the console and the monitor service. And they're communicating directly with the various data sources we have, which we'll cover in a minute in the live demo itself. By the way, we do have an on-premises deployment option for customers who has compliance issues or for any other reason cannot work with the cloud-based solution. We do offer an option to install an on-premises Windows server, which will host both the configuration database, the license server, and the historical reporting database. So everything can run on premises. Obviously, if you work with our cloud-based solution, deployment is super fast and easy. Not to say, obviously, the on-prem solution is fast and easy as well, but you do need to install a server and a database. So, if you have any questions on the architecture, either type them now, or you can contact us later, and we can send you the documents and basically any details you guys need.
So, Yoni, we do have a question here. Someone is wondering, can you have more than a single monitor so that you can set your product up like in separate data centers on different VLANs?
Okay, that's a good question. So we do support multiple monitor servers. Currently in the V6 or V5 releases, multiple monitors are actually working in a failover cluster mode. So 2 monitors are there, but purely for high availability. We currently do not support 2 separate monitors running each in its own different data center reporting data. This is actually planned for V7. Okay, so currently for customers who actually have, let's say, 2 very large data centers, we will probably recommend them to install 2 separate ControlUp environments, unless the data centers are well connected, and then a single monitor can cover both of them. In V7, we're actually going to plan to support multiple monitors for a single ControlUp organizations, and then we will be able to span, a couple of data centers or a local data center and workloads running in the cloud, etc. So full support for that is coming in V7.
Okay, so then tied to that question, so if they want a dashboard set up in their office, for instance, that monitors the needs to have a direct connection. Oh, hang on. I'm not reading that very well. I'm sorry, Yoni.
Okay, that's fine.
So they want a dashboard set up in their office, one that monitors the needs to have direct connections to vCenter servers. Is that possible?
Yeah, so as you see here in the architecture, the dashboard is actually part of the ControlUp console component here. And this is directly connected to your vCenter, to your Windows guest, and to your Zen-Desktop site. So it's not an issue. It's working without any special prerequisites. For the insights, for the web-based module, we actually work with a browser. This could be Chrome or IE. And you can connect from anywhere to your ControlUp Insights instance and watch reports. So hopefully it answers the questions. And again, if there are additional architectural questions, I suggest we take them offline and we provide full answers. Okay, because Perfect. I think guys would like to see the demo. Okay, great. So without further ado, let's move on to the demo here. Okay. So you should see on screen right now ControlUp Real-Time, the ControlUp Real-Time module running on my endpoint. Just some quick orientation facts before we cover some use cases. So on the left side of the screen, this tree here actually covers all the different resources and data sources we work to monitor and manage your environment. So we actually in V6 we support 3 different data sources. One would be your hypervisor connections or your virtualization infrastructure. We support all the major hypervisors, which includes, VMware ESXi 5 and 6, Zen Server 6, 6.5, 7, and newly added in V6, we are now supporting Hyper-V as a managed hypervisor. That would be Hyper-V 2012 R2 and 2016. We support hypervisors without deploying any agents, so it's a completely agentless operation. We actually work with remote APIs. You can see an example here, the connection to my vSphere environment in here. You can see that the only requirement is actually supplying the vCenter SDK URL and valid credentials. And that's it. Once we are connected to virtualization infrastructure, we will show you statistics about your hosts and about your VMs, which we'll see in a sec. So that's the first data source. The second data source, and that's also a new feature in V6, is the Zen-Desktop site. So we now enable our customers to connect directly to the Zen-Desktop sites. This is done by communicating with the brokers. We actually, again, we do not deploy any agents. This is done by using Zen-Desktop APIs, including OData API and PowerShell API. We're actually communicating via port 80 or port 443 with all of the available brokers, and we get data. And we'll cover some of the interesting metrics we get from the Zen-Desktop site once we progress with the live demo here. And finally, the last data source is actually our own agent running inside the Windows guests. So we support any Windows workload, anything from Windows XP up to Windows 10 and 2016. We have a lightweight agent which does not require a reboot, does not use any drivers or no DLLs or something. The footprint is quite low, and we get really interesting metrics from the Windows workloads. Obviously, metrics for Zen App and Zen Desktop, but also user experience metrics. And I'll just show you so you'll see what I'm saying in a few minutes. So as you can see here in my demo environment, we have all kinds of Citrix farms and sites. We support legacy XenApp 6.5 and even XenApp 5 environments, and you can manage in the same in the same infrastructure, in the same control organization, you can also manage Zen Desktop 7.6, 7.9, RES, VDI, Horizon View, whatnot. Everything can be managed in the same control organization. Okay, so
Yoni, this
I want to
really
start.
great. This is really great stuff. We have a couple people asking about Nutanix Acropolis. Will there be any integrations with that in the future?
Oh, that's a great question, Teresa. So we are getting a lot of requests for adding support for the HAV or the Acropolis Nutanix hypervisor. It's actually in the works. We are working directly with some great guys in Nutanix. I would like to give a shout out for to Keith Bergerman. I think he's also CDP, and David Gunn, and some great guys. So they're helping us with the API, and hopefully in either V7 or V8 we'll add support for Nutanix. So stay tuned. It's coming.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so let me show you why guys are actually asking for Nutanix support. Let's see a quick use case here. So you're seeing here the host view. This is actually enables me to monitor my hypervisors, my physical, if you will, my physical servers in real time. So you can see I have here a box called ES604. This is actually an ESXi6 box. And you can see that the stress level here is critical. Now, the stress level is actually a ControlUp calculated column. It's actually taking into effect all kinds of metrics we have here, which includes, simple stuff like CPU in real time, consumed memory, and some more advanced metrics like data store latency, data store usage, the ratio between virtual and physical CPU, and all kinds of stuff which help you figure out what's the current health or state of this specific object. So in here, ES604 is in critical states mainly due to I/O-related metrics. We can see that the I/O usage is really high. It's actually more than 5,000 IOPS are being used on that specific host. So I want to show you how ControlUp can be used in like less than a minute to figure out who is causing this issue. So by double-clicking on the hypervisor itself, I will drill down to the VMs view. Okay, these are all the VMs running on ES604. Now, we have a lot of metrics for VMs. We actually have a lot of metrics for any object. So we have a feature called column presets. And as you can see here, we have all kinds of built-in presets which enable you to quickly jump between interesting metrics. We are dealing with an I/O issue, so I'll click on the detail view I/O preset. And now ControlUp will show me a bunch of I/O-related metrics. Okay, so you can see here, for example, that this VM here, CUIDSH01, is the one VM obviously causing the issue. I can sort based on either virtual IOPS or based on disk reads or writes. These are agents coming from the Windows agent. These are metrics coming from the Windows agent, and these are metrics coming from the vSphere infrastructure. So actually, in the same view, you can get an aggregated understanding of what's going on both from the virtualization layer and the Windows guest itself. Okay, which is crucial, especially if you're using stuff like PVS cache and RAM or the new MCS IntelliCache or cache and RAM option also. Okay, so here it's quite clear which VM is causing the issue. We can now drill down into the VM itself, and now we are actually looking on agent data. Okay, these are statistics coming from the guest OS itself. We can see a session. This is a single session running on this VM, and you can see we have quite a few metrics for this session. Okay, so we have metadata. We can see the client NP information. We can see branch name. We can see idle states. We can see the idle time, and finally we can see real-time performance metrics. Okay, so we can see CPU memory and I/O usage. And in this case, you can see who is to blame. It's actually my demo account in here, consuming all the I/O on a single host. I'll drill down into the user itself, and finally we'll show you the processes. Okay, these are the processes or the apps running in this specific session. And here we can see the culprit. This is a single process causing the issue. You can see it's consuming almost 9,000 IOPS by itself. Okay, now probably a lot of guys are actually not familiar with that specific process. Okay, so we actually do have one final drill down trick we can offer admins. They can right-click the session without troubleshooting and execute a get session screenshot action. Depending on the privacy policy, this could be triggered either with or without the user approval. Obviously, this is a lab environment, so I'm going to get a screenshot without asking the user. And it's nice and also a great way to spy on your bosses, but no, seriously, do not try it without asking for permissions. I've seen some weird stuff using this feature. So we can now see, now by using this feature, we can actually tie in a specific application screen with an issue. Okay, now we can see that DynamoEXE is actually the engine behind IO meter. Okay, so this is obviously, this is myself in this case, but this could be in real life probably, a storage admin trying out his new storage in the middle of the workday, causing havoc, data store latency, obviously affecting VDI endpoints. But this could easily be a browser. This could be your ERP or CRM app. And by using this kind of drill down exercise combined with the screenshots, in a matter of seconds, you can focus on a specific app causing issues in your VDI or, for a matter of fact, your entire virtualization infrastructure. Okay, so I think it's great, and I think I mentioned before that ControlUp is not only about monitoring, we're also about management and troubleshooting. So now that I figure out this is not a business critical app, this is not a CFO Excel macro or something, I can simply go ahead and terminate the process. Okay, and hopefully by terminating the process, I'm fixing this specific issue. I will, stop the crazy IO usage, and in real time I can go back all the way to the VMs view. I can see that from the Windows point of view, the IO has already dropped to 0. It will take a few more seconds to see it from the hypervisor perspective because we actually sample the hypervisor virtualization layer every 20 seconds. Okay, so I can go back all the way to the host view, and there you go. You can see now that IO usage just dropped back into a normal rate, and I do not have any hypervisors in critical stress. Okay, so that's a quick use case, something most of our customers are using to troubleshoot issues in real time and also remediate them, like I've shown in this case.
So there's a question here about Citrix Edge Site application crash process monitoring. Can ControlUp do anything that would be similar, like to monitoring application process crashes?
Yeah, sure. So one of the metrics we actually gather on managed computers is Windows events. Okay, so by default, by the way, we will gather any application or system warning or error events. Now, as most of you probably know, whenever an application is crashing, an event ID 1000 is being generated. So we will capture that, and we will show you that in our incidents pane. I will try to show you an example, but basically we do gather Windows events information, so we're not directly monitoring crashes, but we are monitoring events which will enable you to see all the crashes happening in your environment. Let's see. I've just switched to the incidents pane, so you can see here the historical Windows events we actually gather in ControlUp, and you can go here and search specifically for Windows Event 1000, and then assuming I have crashes in my environment, ControlUp will show me those specific events, and I can drill down and see which apps are crashing, and basically historically see all kinds of interesting incidents in my environment.
And then also related to monitoring, wondering if you can see ICA network session latency. Yeah,
for sure. I'll cover that in a few seconds. So I'll show everything about the way we monitor HDX and ICA sessions.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, great. So before I move on, actually the next topic is to cover user experience, which includes latency and some other cool stuff. But before that, I want to show you something in regards to historical data. So what I'm showing on screen right now is the ControlUp Insights module. So as mentioned, this is our analytics and historical reporting solution. And I want to show you that everything we have shown so far is real time. Okay, but we do capture all the data for historical analysis as well. So what you're seeing here, this is the host trends. This is the report that will show you for all of your hypervisors how they behaved from a CPU, IO, or RAM footprint. Sorry, from a RAM usage back in time. We can go back, a day, a week, a month, a year, depending on your license level, and all the data is aggregated, including processes. Okay, so just to show you what I mean. So we actually we troubleshooted an IO issue. You can see here, this is the IO usage graph for my entire hypervisor population in my demo environment. So you can see that yesterday we had a pretty high peak. I can click on the data points, and Insights will show me specifically which host was causing the issue. just like we did in real-time console. I can click on that specific host, and now Insights will show me the same historical data, but for a specific hypervisor. Okay, so let's look on the I/O usage. We can now click on the same data point, but this time looking on a specific host. And since we are looking on a specific host, Insights will show me which VMs actually caused the issue. Okay, so these are the top 5 VMs consuming I/O at that specific data point. I can now click on the VM itself, and Insights will automatically move to the VMs trends report, focusing on that specific problematic VM. And again, will show me the statistics for the last week. So let's look on CRDSH01. Again, we can see the same I/O pattern because this is the single VM causing the issue. And by now, clicking on the data point, since we're looking on VM, Insights will show me which process or which session actually caused the issue. Okay, so you can see it's actually the same process we have seen in the real-time console. It's actually one of our sales guys running a demo back earlier today. Okay, so this is mind-blowing, right? We can go back in time, we can see issues, and we can drill down all the way to a specific process or user causing an issue in our environment. Okay, so we cover all of that great stuff, both real-time and historically. Okay, let's move on to actually, to answer the previous question, move on, let's look on the sessions view. Okay, so this is the sessions view, right? This is a flat list of all user sessions connected to your environment. They can come from, again, from Horizon View deployments and apps and desktop, RDS sessions, whatnot. And all of them will be listed in here. So this is a great view to see what's going on from the user perspective. You can search here specific sessions, like I'm doing right now. You can sort based on any of the metrics. So we can see, for example, which users are suffering from a slow logon, or on the other end, which users are currently consuming the highest amount of CPU in your environment. Okay, so a lot of use cases. By the way, unlike some of the existing Citrix solutions, we also show the idle time in here, branch location, client IP addresses. So I think it's probably one of the more efficient views you can have for managing users. Now, let's look on user experience. We have quite a few metrics which will tell you exactly what's going on from a user experience perspective. Okay, so let's look on some of the metrics here. First, we have login duration. Okay, we can show you exactly how long it takes for a user to log into his desktop or published app, and we'll show some more details of for that in a sec. We can show you, and this is new in V6, we can show you how long it takes for apps to open inside the user session. And this is great, because login duration is really interesting, it's really important, but it happens once during the login process. But while the user is working on his VDI environment, it keeps opening applications, Outlook, Word, browsers, whatnot. And by constantly looking on the app load time, we can give you a very precise evaluation of the user experience in regards to how long he's waiting for user mode applications to open. And I will show something about that in a few minutes. So beyond login duration and app load time, which is a new feature in V6, we also have protocol-related metrics. So we do show the average latency. You can see it in here. We'll show it in milliseconds. Obviously, by the way, everything is also recorded for historical analysis. And new in V6, we also have some information about the bandwidth usage and about the bandwidth limit, which is really crucial from a user experience perspective, because the limit will show you how much bandwidth is available from the protocol, from the HDX or PCIP protocol point of view. Okay, so if you combine this with the actual bandwidth being used, and combine this with latency, and obviously the other user experience metrics we have, you pretty much can tell if the user is having a great day or is going to pick up a phone and call support. So let's look on each of these metrics in a little more details. Okay, so login duration. Login duration, I know it's a popular topic, so you probably heard about that, but let's cover that real quick. So first we'll show you the overall login duration. Okay, and beyond that, if you scroll all the way to the right, you can see the breakdown. Okay, so we have quite a few breakdown columns inside the real-time view. We can show you how long it took to load the profile. This would be the Windows profile. We'll show you how long it took to process group policies, the desktop itself, and all the other phases which kind of make the login process. So without doing anything extra, you can quickly see what was the major culprit if the user suffered from a slow logon. Let's look on one of our demo users in here. This is a guy called CU Demo. So you can see he had, 1 minute logon duration, which is not that great. Okay. And if we look on the breakdown, we can see the group policy was the major culprit. Okay. So, oh, by the way, one quick note here: you can play with the columns as much as you want. So I've seen some customers doing something like this. They actually dragged the logon duration column in here, so they can see it right next to the breakdown column. So again, the view is fully customizable. You can play with it. You can play with the which columns will be displayed, etc. Now, here we can see that group policy was the major culprit. How can we get more details about that? How can we learn more about this specific issue? So here, actually, what's kicking in is our script-based action option. So as you have seen before, we do have some built-in actions in ControlUp. Okay, we have some actually pretty great built-in actions. I'm not sure we'll have the time to cover that with you today, but you can see the list here on the screen. But besides the built-in actions, we also have a feature called script-based actions. And this is probably one of our most popular solutions since the day we released that. So if you will click on the script-based action button here on the ribbon bar, you will see basically two things. One, you will see our community script store, where you can browse existing scripts and download them for your own use. This is something pretty great. We have experts, a lot of CTPs are contributing their scripts. We have smart customers sending their scripts. We are obviously sanitizing the script, and once we deem them ready, we publish them for our entire customer base. And in addition, as a customer, you can go here and add your own scripts. So any PowerShell script is supported, VBS, batch, whatnot. So you can infinitely increase the management capabilities of ControlUp by adding your own script or adding scripts that someone in the community added. You can see, just recently we added a script that will enable you to analyze the bandwidth usage you see in the console and tell you exactly which virtual channel is causing the issue. Okay, you can see this was released like a bit more than a month ago, and already more than 100 users are using that in their environments. If we look on popularity, you can see that the top most rated scripts are actually related to analyzing logon duration. You can see more than 1,000 users are using these scripts. So back to our problem, we want to figure out why group policy processing took more than 40 seconds. We're going to use this nice script in here. Okay, so this is already installed in my environment. I'm going to right-click the session, go to script-based action, and launch the analyze GPO extension load time. Okay, this will run against the session, and it will show me exactly which group policy extension actually caused the issue. In this case, you can see that the drive maps extension took more than 30 seconds to load, obviously causing a major delay. We will even show you which GPO actually triggered that. Okay, so it's great, and you have more details, and you can, in real time, figure out what's causing issues and solve them. Quickly going back to insights, if we look on the session activity reports, most or all of the metrics you have seen in the sessions view will be available for historical analysis as well. Just go to session activity, look on the data here, and obviously one of the metrics available here is logon duration. So just like you did before, you can click on the column itself, and you can sort the view based on logon duration, and historically see which sessions suffer from some slow logon in the last week, last 24 hours, last 2 days, etc. You can obviously export this data and work with it offline to do some more further analysis. Okay, let's move on to the second user experience metrics, and that would be the application load time. Now, this is one of my favorite features. Actually, we added in V6. We worked a long time on researching ways to provide accurate data here. So I'm going to try something a bit riskier. I'm going to try to show in real time how it's working. I'm going to start an app and see if the way we actually look at it is providing accurate data for you admins out there. So I have a session running in here. This is it's actually a desktop session. Okay, you can see it in here. It's a full desktop. It's a Xenop 6.5 server. It should be this guy. Let's see which guy it is. Right, so it will be this session here. Okay, so we can look on the session itself. We can look on applications running in it. And you can see that right now the The average upload time is actually 5.2 seconds, which is explained by a single Chrome application that took 5 seconds to load. Now, this is pretty nice, but let's go ahead and let's open an Excel file. You can see this is a pretty big Excel file. It's 30 megabytes. It should take something like 15 or 16 seconds to load. So I'm going to open it in here. You can see here, I opened it at something like 36, 50, 58 seconds. We will wait a while. So, from the user perspective, it's taking a while. You see it took, let's see, we're already at 12, 13, 14 seconds. Right, so 16 seconds and the app is ready. So, from the end user perspective, it's not great. It took him, 16 seconds to open an app. Now let's go back to ControlUp. And there you go. This is the Excel file the user opened. And you can see we accurately measure the upload time, 16.4 seconds. Okay, and now obviously it's affecting the average upload time. So now we as admin know exactly what's the experience of the end user from the upload time perspective. Okay, so this is great, and we can cover all kinds of apps. Let me show you the settings screen in here. One important note while I'm showing this is new in V6, okay, and by default this is disabled. Okay, so to enable it in your environment, just look on the release notes. We have all the instructions, or simply go in here and enable the checkbox. By default, we look on Office apps and browsers, but you can add your own rules and add any process you want, right? So I don't know, Epic, Notepad, whatnot. Okay, just add it in here, and we'll start monitoring the data. Okay, so this is again regarding the upload time. Let's move on to the protocol bandwidth columns in here. So, as mentioned, we do have some pretty great, some great protocol bandwidth metrics and protocol latency. Again, I'm going to try something. Hopefully, it will work in here. So this is the same session. Let's see if I can generate some intense bandwidth and see. I'm going to sort this view based on the bandwidth usage. Okay, so we can see in real time what's going on. I'm going to try and load a pretty intense, website. We have ESPN in here. Let's try the marker. So we'll try to generate some pretty serious bandwidth in here. Okay. If we look on the real-time stuff, we can play videos. We can do all kinds of things in here. We can see here that let's see my session here. Let's sort it like this. Okay, so this is the session. You can see that the bandwidth usage is climbing in here. Okay, so it's affecting the real-time view and also the average.
Jacksonville is packed with young talent under 25 on both sides of the ball.
And this would be the audio. Okay, let's remove that.
And all 4 of his top.
Okay, so you can see here in real time the session is consuming a lot of bandwidth, and by just disabling. Let me disable the audio again. Sorry. Okay, so right, we can see in real time exactly what's happening in user sessions from a bandwidth perspective. Okay, as mentioned before, we even have a script-based action which will show you which virtual channel is actually consuming all of the bandwidth. Okay, and if I'll go ahead in here, let's go back to the session. If I'll go in here and I will terminate the browser instance, you will see the bandwidth dropping again to a normal rate. Okay, so again, I think it's great both for real-time analysis and troubleshooting, but do remember that all of these metrics are also uploaded for historical analysis. Okay, so again, new in V6 would be the bandwidth usage and bandwidth limits metrics. And obviously, since V5, we also have the latency metric in here.
So, Yoni, there's a question here. It's slightly unrelated, but definitely has to do with usage and some of the historical that you keep in the tool set.
Sure.
Wondering if you can run usage reports for applications based on Active Directory groups.
Okay, so the question was if we can run session activity report based on AD groups, right?
Yeah, or like application launch. Like who's launched which applications or desktops based on an AD group. So
Okay,
where
so
they're going with this is they're thinking about chargebacks to departments within their organization.
Okay. Okay. So currently, first, obviously we do show session activity and we show app usage, so the data is there. From a filtering or query point of view, currently you support folders, okay, which basically means you can sort the session activity or application launch based on computer folders or based on specific computers, and you can also filter specific sessions in this report. Okay, or specific app launches. In V6, we actually added a new column which shows the AD organizational unit or OU which the user session belongs to. Okay, so we're going to add this column to the report, which will enable customers to track application launches as session activity based on OU membership. Okay, so this is coming soon as an enhancement to the session activity and app usage reports. We currently don't show the group membership. This is planned for a future release. Okay, so we will support that, but currently you just have to sit tight, and soon you'll have OU filtering, and hopefully in V7 we'll have group membership filtering as well.
Great.
Okay, great. Any other questions about this topic, Theresa?
There's one about a little bit more unrelated again. It's on the licensing side. Do you want to do that now or at the end?
Let me just say we can cover this in the final QA, but you know what? Let's cover this in the final QA section. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I do want to move on and show you guys the new. This is brand new feature in V6. It's the Zen desktop integration feature. Okay. So as mentioned in the beginning, we're querying the Zen desktop site using APIs, so no agents are involved, and it's a simple matter of adding a site, giving us, one broker IP address or name, and valid Zen desktop admin credentials, and that's it. Once you configure that, you will have a brand new site icon or site object in here, and we're actually, we're automatically discovering all kinds of objects. We will automatically enumerate the brokers, and we can show you the broker health. I'll cover that in a sec. We also enumerate the delivery groups, as you can see in here. And we also obviously enumerate VDAs and sessions. So let me quickly show you some interesting features we have as part of the Zen desktop integration, and then we move on. So this is the overall Zen desktop site. You can see here all kinds of statistics about the brokers in your environment. You can see the availability statistics for your delivery groups. You can see exactly which delivery group is available or not. And you can see statistics about the overall computer or all VDA states. Okay, you can see how many VDAs are currently available. You can see logon durations. You can see how many VDAs are currently unregistered, etc. Okay, let's start specifically with brokers. Okay, so you can see here in high level that 100% of the brokers are available. If we want to get more details, we can drill down into the brokers folder in here. And ControlUp will actually show you, let's see all the VMs here, just a sec. Okay, so in my environment, I have 2 brokers. Okay, so for each broker, we'll show you how many VDAs it's serving right now, and we will show you health score, which is also aggregated in the site level. And the health score is actually based on all the critical services and database connections the broker is actually using. Okay, so we monitor each and every service and database connection. This includes the broker service, the MCS service, the site database connection, etc. If any one of these will fail, it will affect the overall health score, and you can get notified for it, and you will see it also in the overall site view. Okay, so full-blown broker health integration. If we look on delivery groups, we have some great statistics for delivery group. First, we will show you for each delivery group the availability state. Now, this column here is something that we calculate ourselves. Okay, so we decide if a delivery group is available or not based on 3 metrics. First, we look if it's enabled or disabled in the Zen desktop site. Second, we will check the maintenance mode, if it's off or on. And finally, we will check if there are available desktops. So only if all of these 3 conditions are actually valid, we will go ahead and decide that the delivery group is available. So I think, it's a great job in simplifying Zendesk troubleshooting and maintenance. And you can always drill down to a specific delivery group and see the VDAs and see the statistics for each VDA. Okay, if I will look on the computer's view, I will actually get a full list of all the VDAs running in my Zendesk site. And we have, any relevant metric from the Zendesk site. We can show you the registration state, we can show you the power state, we can show you the catalog, the desktop group, we will show you the load index if it's a server VM. Anything you want is available as part of the new Zendesk integration feature with all the great, ControlUp real-time options. You can go ahead, for example, and group this view based on registration state. So we can quickly focus on unregistered VMs like I'm doing in here. We also made available some management actions. So you can see you can go ahead and enable or disable maintenance mode either for a single VDA or go ahead and select a bunch of them like I'm doing in here and execute the same action. Let's choose a few relevant VDAs and go ahead and either disable or enable maintenance mode for a bunch of VDAs. And just like we were doing for the, for the delivery group objects, we also have an availability column for each VDA. And here we've gone a long way to simplify things. We are looking on maintenance mode. We're looking on registration state. We're looking on the load index. We're looking on logged on users. And based on all of these metrics, we decide if the VDA is actually available or not. Okay, the tooltip will tell you exactly which metrics we're looking at, but you can use this as a very, I would say, trusted metric for the availability of that specific VDA. Okay, and finally for the, and obviously we have the sessions. Okay, so we will show you all sessions we discovered from the Zendesk site. This will be, merged with our own session data, and including all the Zendesk specific metrics, like the protocol, the session type, the registration state, the applications in use, everything you want will be available in here. Okay, and finally, something that I want to show you in here, I think this is pretty great. This is, let's see if I have this in here. I think this is the preset we want to show. So this is a 2012 R2 Zendesk 7.6 VDA. Okay, and what I'm trying to show you in here is that we can aggregate statistics coming from Zendesk, from VMware, and from our agent in the same view. So for that specific VDA, we can show you, for example, the maintenance mode states. We can show you the real-time CPU and memory usage. We can show you the read and write IOP usage. We can even show you the PVS Ramcast usage if this is applicable. So we are gathering all the critical metrics from all kinds of different data sources, showing them in a single tool. This is pretty unique, and I think from a troubleshooting and management perspective, this would go a long way, making your life much, much easier. Okay, so we don't, but any questions on the Zendesk piece, Teresa, by the way?
So I'm having some technical difficulties, so Stephanie's going to take a look at the question list and see if there are any related to that.
Okay, and I'm looking right now, and I'm not as qualified as Teresa, but I'm looking through the question list right now.
Okay, while you guys sort it out, we'll move on with the demo because we do want to cover some ground, and we will leave, let's say, like a few minutes in the end for Q&A.
Okay.
Okay, so as I think I mentioned in the beginning, in V6 we added support for Hyper-V. So now Hyper-V is fully supported as a managed hypervisor. You can see this is actually a cluster in here. We have a Hyper-V 2012 cluster, and just like any other virtualization host, we can drill down. We can see VMs. We can drill down to specific VMs to see processes and sessions. So Hyper-V is fully supported, and I know quite a few customers waited for this. So I'm pretty excited that it's finally here. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is a quick taste from our management features. So we have quite a few interesting management actions. I want to show you one, and then we'll try to show something else in Insight. So maybe you notice that I've selected my entire XenUp farm, my entire XenUp 6.5 farm. We have 7 hosts in here. And you can see here we have something called controllers, registry, file system, etc. I will go ahead and click on Manage Registry. ControlUp will actually switch to the controllers pane. This is a different pane in here. And what it will show you, a merged or an aggregated view of the local machine hive. Now, this is great for troubleshooting because we are now highlighting the differences between different Windows hosts. Okay, a yellow key means this key exists on your entire host list here. But if a key is red, like this guy in here, it means it exists only on a single VM, in this case TS20. Okay, so you can use this tool to quickly pinpoint differences. Okay, this is great for configuration troubleshooting, application issues. Even if you have PVS and MCS, this is still valid because we know things are drifting while the images are running. And finally, you can use this tool to also fix issues or do maintenance tasks. You can distribute, you can copy, and everything can be done simultaneously on a bunch of VDAs or XenApp servers. Okay, so again, we have dozens of actions just tried out in your environment. From insights perspective, again, we won't have time to cover all of the available reports, but we do have, I think, most of the reports relevant for each and every VDI or virtualization host scenario. We can share with the login duration from the overall, the overall organization perspective, and then you can drill down to specific sessions. You can look on protocol latency over time. You can look on session statistics. We will show you app usage details. Okay, so basically, I think we cover most of the common use cases, and since this is assess module, we're actually keep enhancing the report functionality every couple of weeks. So we are adding new reports, we are adding extra functionality in here. So it enables us to give to give quick feedback for customer requests. So again, this is part of the insights module in here. Okay, and finally, before the Q&A session, one thing I do want to show you is the incident trigger feature. So basically, we are constantly looking at each of every metric you have seen in the demo. Okay, we're monitoring, again, user experience metrics, performance metrics, Xen desktop statistics. Everything you've seen can be configured as a trigger. Okay, so you don't have to sit all day in front of the console, although I think it's fun. And you can get, passive alerts, email alerts, mobile push notification alerts. You will configure what you think is interesting. It's really granular. It's very robust. You can configure a rule that, for example, will send you an alert whenever a specific, for example, user is having a slow logon, or if a specific app is consuming more than 500 apps, etc. So, you can use this module here to configure alerts based on the real-time data we collect in the module. Okay. By the way, Stephanie or Theresa, while you're looking at the questions, I will give you like 1 more minute to look at it, and I will just show the guys our website. So right, if anyone is interested in a POC, it's a simple matter of going to the website and downloading the ControlUp console. That's about it. You need to download the console, and you will automatically get a 30 days free trial. Okay, the deployment is super easy, super fast. Just download the console, launch it in your own environment, and use the add computers, add hypervisor, or add Xen desktop site to add your own resources in here. Reboots are not required. You do not need to set up a database. So it's a simple matter of downloading the software and adding your own resources in here. Stephanie or Theresa, do you want to jump in with some questions?
So I'll jump in with that licensing question, and then I'll let Stephanie take over from there. So the question was related to service providers, wondering if you offer any subscription licensing for them.
Yeah, okay, great question. So yeah, we fully support MSPs and service providers. We actually have quite a few of them using the product by now. So we offer monthly subscriptions for MSPs and service providers. We also support multi-tenants. Okay, so the product itself is designed for that. We can have, one folder per tenant. We support multiple AD forests and separate networks. So yeah, that's fully supported. And while we're speaking about that, just to cover the license question, ControlUp is licensed based on two major parameters. It's licensed based on concurrent sessions and based on the insights data retention. Okay, so one parameter will be how many concurrent sessions are being monitored in the ControlUp console, and the second parameter would be your insight data retention, right? If you want to go back a day, a month, or a year. So based on these two parameters, we will decide on the relevant license for you guys. And upfront, I'll tell you that I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with our pricing module. So if anyone is interested, just send a query to sales@controlup.com or via our website, and we'll give you the exact numbers.
Okay. So we have about 3-ish minutes left to the top of the hour, so I'm just going to scroll through these questions, and if you've already answered them.
No pros. While you're doing that, one thing I want to show, which usually comes up, you might have noticed that ControlUp is very powerful, which is great. But because of that, we also offer a very robust permission delegation module, which enables you to delegate specific views and actions based on AD group membership. So we are seeing customers, giving full permissions to their VDI team and giving their help desk or tier 1 team very limited access to only view sessions and execute some specific actions. So this is all part of the same solution. You can use the security policy to delegate permissions and views based on AD group membership.
Okay. I hear an echo somewhere.
Okay, one other thing I know which always being asked is the agent footprint. So instead of giving you the usual vendor answers, I'm just going to show you in real time how it looks like. Okay, so I'm actually now focusing on my Zenap farm, and now we're looking on CU Agent. CU Agent is the service we run on each Windows guest, and you can actually see the footprint live. Okay, this is the CPU footprint, the memory footprint, the IO footprint, and as promised, it's lightweight. And I'm really happy to say that we have not seen any compatibility issues or performance issues with the agent whatsoever. So I think you can be pretty confident in deploying the agent in your production environments.
That's really great, Yoni, because a lot of organizations are deploying a lot of security tools and things like that as well. So that's really great news that it's been very successful in that space.
Yep, for sure. And again, just I know we're almost out of time, so just to wrap up for my point of view, hopefully, I think we provide excellent feature set, and if you think the same, feel free to apply to the V6 beta. Just send an email to support. The beta is started already, so it's a simple matter of joining in. Yeah, hopefully, we prove that ControlUp is indeed the best VDI monitoring and management solution out there. And again, I'm open for any questions from your end, guys.
Well, how about we do this? Since it's the top of the hour, and I have all of the questions recorded, and we can go ahead and send them to you after the webinar, and you can respond to them either through email or through the CUGC website. And then that way you'll have the full record of all the questions, and everyone will get their answers. Does that sound okay for you, Yoni?
Sounds great. For sure, we will follow up on each and every question. We have great support and pre-sale guys, so they will answer everything. And I really want to thank you, Stephanie and Teresa, for this great webinar. And I want to thank the CUGC community. And great. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the webinar.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. And before we close out, I just want to wrap up really quickly and let everyone know that we will announce the winner of the Apple Watch as soon as we find out from ControlUp on mycugc.org. You will also be able to access a recording of today's presentation as well as discuss today's webinar in our discussion forums. And just a reminder that we have more webinars coming up, so please keep an eye on the schedule. You'll also get a short email survey tomorrow. We'd love to have your feedback for today's presentation. It helps us plan future events. And with that, I just want to thank Yoni and Teresa, and thanks for a great presentation despite some of our technical difficulties today. I think it went off really well, and hope to see you guys again soon.